So here's an update from Los Angeles. Over the last 2 weeks, over 1,600 immigrants have been arrested by ICE and in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. Despite claims to the contrary, it seems that most of these people were not criminals. And we also had 787 people arrested for protesting, for obstruction, or for unlawful assembly. The people in Los Angeles remain defiant, unified and cohesive, objecting to the reign of terror that the Trump administration is exacting on businesses, on communities, on families, going into schools, courthouses, Home Depot car parks, and just ordinary places. And it seems that there are reports that some of these ICE raids even caused traffic accidents and injured people. The objections to this are strong, certainly from civil liberties organisations, really questioning the tactics used by ICE. They are being used as a fear weapon, as a form of terrorism on ordinary people. Because the facts seem to be that the majority of the people that were swept up, of the over 1,600 people in Los Angeles in the last 2 weeks, and that includes Orange County, and that includes Riverside and other neighbouring and regional areas, most of these people did not have criminal records. And about the worst that most of them seem to have is some minor traffic infringement, or that they had some kind of immigration issue. But there's no transparency from ICE or from DHS. There were leaks which gave us this kind of information. But the government would have you think that there are hundreds and hundreds of criminals being arrested, when most of these people, some of them that were swept up, we can't absolutely be certain that some were lawful permanent residents, valid visa holders, even citizens. And if it's not clear by now that when in ICE's custody and in immigration courts, the onus is on you to prove your citizenship or your lawful permanent residency status, or that you're a valid visa holder. So guilty until proven innocent is the way they work. This is why people are outraged. This is why people are objecting to this. Because if you remember, ICE even did things like throw flashbang grenades at 5-year-old birthday parties. Families with their children celebrating a 5-year-old's birthday had flashbangs thrown at them. These are not trivial things. And then they're abused and roughed up by these thugs toting their automatic weapons, terrorising the community. This is why 787 people were arrested. And there's a reason for that. Why would so many people put themselves in harm's way? It's because they're that concerned and that community-minded, that community-spirited, that they're prepared to risk themselves to stop injustice. If the claim is that the objective is to ensure that the law and order is maintained, then sending lawless people with such firepower, indiscriminately grabbing all sorts of people who aren't committing crimes, who are just ordinary, how is that not a crime in itself? The reason why so many people object to this is that usually with criminal law enforcement, and ICE is civil, there is a great deal of limitations on what they can do. There's things like probable cause. There's the Fourth Amendment. There's the Fifth Amendment, even First Amendment rights. And law enforcement organisations are bound by strict codes. What we're seeing from ICE is a kind of rabble. It's like a group of bandits, masked so they don't identify themselves, carrying automatic weapons into civilian areas, intimidating people, threatening them, just like a gang would. This is why so many people in Los Angeles object to this kind of behaviour. And I ask people generally, is this what you want? Do you think that this is fair? Imagine in your workplace, imagine in your city or your town, that masked men carrying automatic weapons in tactical gear, not identifying themselves, and then aggressively abducting people, kidnapping them at gunpoint. Is this the kind of America that you think is just? Now, it would be quite another thing if this administration was actually targeting the criminals. But let's look at the facts. Kash Patel has changed the emphasis to immigration, which was never what the FBI was ever aimed at, removing the upper echelon of the most gifted and experienced people, the leadership, and replaced them with questionable people that are basically loyalists, many of which do not appear to have anywhere near the same levels of expertise or experience. And when you think about it, if the real objective is law and order and security, why are we seeing things like counter-terrorism units stripped of significant portions of their personnel and downgraded? And we're even seeing a 22-year-old whose main qualifications were mowing lawns being put in charge of counter-terrorism. Does this not concern people? So there is still a presence in Los Angeles, and ICE has been continuing to indiscriminately abduct ordinary people and people in the communities are continuing to resist. This is what the reality is. Because people all across Los Angeles and the regional areas object to masked men bullying the local people, using extreme force like a gang, refusing to identify themselves, often dressed in ragtag clothes, not a uniform, masked, carrying automatic weapons with tactical gear. And just think about this. Why is this happening? It's because the Trump administration is pushing for ever-increasing amounts of deportations. But it's not the criminals that they're mainly getting. It's ordinary people doing jobs that need to be filled. And after ICE has been through different areas, it damages commerce, it damages businesses, it damages employment, it damages supply chains. And it also damages the community. People are now living in terror. Ordinary people, citizens, permanent residents, visa holders, tourists, students, everybody's terrified that they're going to be grabbed at a moment's notice by thugs. And part of the problem here is that there seems to be an increasing amount of people masquerading as ICE, pretending that they're ICE people, and then abusing people. And this is what's being allowed to go on. This is what's being perpetrated. I will continue to report on this and dig deeper each time. But what I can say is it's clear-cut here in Los Angeles and the surrounding areas. The majority of people, by far, completely object to this reign of terror, to these indiscriminate arrests, to the wholesale disruption of one of the largest economies in the world. In fact, if you look at California, it's the fourth largest economy in the world. How does this make sense? Because it costs money to fit these people, gear them up. That costs money. But then they're disrupting commerce here. You're killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. Is that not clear cut? And terrorizing people. We don't feel safe here in Los Angeles. Just going to the supermarket becomes an ordeal because these people might indiscriminately come up and grab you, abuse you. They might ship you to these hellholes in Louisiana. That's the reality. Against your will, for no good reason other than they're trying to fill Stephen Miller's 3,000 a day quotas. That's the reality. And that's why people object to this. And it means anything that you do, anything at all, even in your house, you're not safe, even though they need a judicial warrant to bang your door down. They're still using tricks and tactics to try and get around that. So nobody's safe here. LA is under siege. The real invasion is ICE. They are damaging business, damaging communities, ripping families apart, and putting fear into the hearts of everybody in the region. I would ask, is this really what people want? Is this justice? Is this the kind of America that you want to live in? Just think about it. The only thing limiting the volume at the moment is how many agents they have and how well equipped they are and how well supported they are. Now, if you watch any of those videos that are about the overreach of different arms of law enforcement, and you watch those videos and you feel outrage when police don't follow due process, don't follow the rules, just have a look at what ICE is doing. Just look at it. I mean, they don't even need probable cause now. They're just grabbing people indiscriminately. That's what's happening. So for those people that aren't in Los Angeles, this is what's happening and why so many people are being arrested protesting. I mean, they're heroes. They really are. They are heroes. And look at how they're being treated. They're putting their lives on the line for justice. So I will continue to monitor and report on this as time goes by. And if all the indications are right, we're going to see an expansion of ICE activity. And we're going to see this being ramped up significantly.